Okay, so I was inspired by Bode talking about how he plays Buttmaster. Yo, what's up, Bagels? How's it going? Bode put out a video a little while ago, like 6 months ago or something now, even longer, I don't even know. He put out a video explaining why he plays Puttmaster and kind of the thought processes he goes through. I kind of want to do the same thing with Veteran because nobody plays Veteran, and I think he's supremely overlooked, especially in match play. So yeah, I'm recording this right now. I'm also streaming it because why not? Also got that Second Tag Tournament 2 tunes blasting because it's a good ass soundtrack. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go over pros and cons first of the dude. I think Veteran, the main reason you'd probably want to play Veteran is because he forgives mistakes. If you get into the rough, it's more fairway. It's not quite more fairway, but it's a 5% penalty on your shot generally, and so it's like you don't even think about it some of the times because it's gonna go the distance you give it. Yeah, so that's probably the biggest reason to play Veteran, in that like when you're stuck in level 8 match play, because when you play on Fightcade, it's level 8, so you always get the worst seed on the rolls for the wins and all that stuff. You get the worst seed on the rolls for where the pin's gonna be. Yeah, and so when you're faced with all that stuff, and you're playing a character like Landolt who has garbage recovery, or you're playing a character like all the top three of the tier list have terrible recovery. Buttmaster, Shotmaker, and Power Golfer all have garbage recovery. And so like sometimes when you've got 14 win, you're living on a very fine line. But when you're playing Adams, you can be in the rough, it's not a big deal. Yeah, that's the other thing with him. He's easy to handle. His bars are slow. They move at the same rate as Landolt's, I believe. I think it's the exact same speed. Yeah, so they're very easy to handle. Well, the only difference is that like his max shot is not 7 frames like Landolt's, because that's just stupid. But he's got 4 slices. My dude knows how to slice. And the one thing you'll learn when you're playing Veteran is you have to slice, because we'll get to that in the cons. But yeah, 4 slices, it's a lot more powerful than you think. When you're playing Landolt, you don't think about slicing because you only have 2 of them. And when you're playing Landolt, you don't care because you hit ball hard and you ignore everything. But yeah, the other thing he's got is low shot. It can go under wind a little bit more easily. One thing you'll see a lot, like especially because he has to do a lot of approaches with woods because it's Veteran, his power sucks. You don't have to up club with the wood that often. Even when you are in like 10 face wind, you'll still end up using a 220 wood for a 220 approach. You go over, you go max shot maybe, but you won't go up to your 1 wood generally. You don't need to, because your low shot will go under it and you'll roll real far. And yeah, he's got that Tom Selleck. You can't say no to a man with a good ass mustache. Look at that thing. It's amazing. It's so good. Alright. This is the reason why nobody picks him, but I don't think you should be using these cons as reasons not to pick him necessarily. His putts are terrible. He's got the same putt bars as Almeida. They move slower, which makes it easier to handle, but that doesn't mean they don't suck. They do suck. You learn to live with it in a weird way. You play uphills a lot. You always shoot 1 under. It's a weird sort of balance you have to learn to live with. But in theory, when you're playing Neo Turf Masters, you should never have to think about your putts. And because Veteran's mistakes are much more forgiving, it can be easier to get closer to pins sometimes when you're playing him, because he doesn't have to live on that fine line of like a really fast shot bar or a really huge 7-frame window for your max shot that you hit by accident and then you're off the back of the green. Yeah, his bad distance means no more eagle putts for a lot of par 5s and some par 4s that privileged people get. And so you gotta say hello to wood approaches a lot of the time too on par 4s. Your spins aren't gonna be there as much as they will be for other people. Which is unfortunate, but again, you learn to live with it. It's just kind of the way it is. He's objectively bad for score chasing and stroke play. So like if you're taking part in the, November Classic or whatever this weekend or this month, and you're going for those minus 20 scores, those minus 21, 22 scores, do not use this character for it. You will have a bad time. It's just, it doesn't work well. He's a bad character for chasing scores. My PBs, I have a minus 18 on every course except for Germany. I have a minus 19. Those are my PBs. So I've never gotten minus 20. I should have had a minus 20, but I fucked up a putt. We're not gonna talk about that. But yeah. And I'll have one more thing that's a con is his low shot forces you to respect core design. So characters, like if you're playing Landol, you go over everything with your powerful shot. If you're playing Putt Master, you go over everything with your high shot and powerful shot. Like all the top tiers will just kind of, they can ignore a lot of the course design. There's like bunkers and stuff that just be like, what's a bunker? I don't know. I'm going straight over it. Stuff like that. But with Adams, like with the lower tiers, with Adams, with Spinner, with Nerd Dude, whatever the fuck, who cares? He sucks. You have to learn how to respect course design. So why would you actually play Adams? I think one of the main things he teaches you is he teaches you how to learn courses rather than just hitting ball. One thing that you'll see a lot of people get stuck in is they don't think about routes sometimes, and when you're playing Adams, you have to think about routes. You don't have a choice. Because if you don't, you're just gonna get smothered. Like you gotta have to know, oh, I can or can't get over this tree. I have to get around these trees. You have to learn how to slice a lot when you're playing Adams because you can't go over everything. You can't go over much. It's painful. But he forces you to learn that stuff, and it's like because he's forgiving of mistakes and he's easy to handle. He becomes a very easy character to learn the game with because he's like, oh, you made a small mistake, not a big deal. You know how to adjust for it now, but we're not gonna kill your entire run for it right now. You've still got a chance to, you know, get this on in two, no problem. But you've learned a mistake, but you don't like it doesn't ruin your entire day. Yeah, so like that, small mistakes won't ruin your entire hole. So especially in match play, when you get it into the bunker, you're like, oh, I don't have to just Alt F4 now. I'm good to go. I'm Adams, right? Like a small mistake, small lapses in judgment, you aren't severely punished for them in the same way as you are with other characters. And also, the most important part is if you play Adams, you're the coolest person on my streams. I will make sure you're on stream every tournament. You play Adams, I'll make you the coolest person. Anyway, that's like my thought process of like why the pros, cons, and why I think maybe people should give Adams a shot. I'm not saying you have to give Adams a shot, but I think you should. But we're gonna go over to the game, so I got my cursor here too. I can point out things. So most of the time, you know, hole one, hit ball. I'm gonna probably use the fast forward function a bunch because I don't feel like waiting for all this shit. So yeah, I'm assuming most people who are watching this have played, you know, Turf Masters. They know the lineup with the arrow to the rightest most pixel of the pin. His hair pixel is this little, you know, he's got these 4 pixels up here, and then this, that's where it is, right there. You can see the cursor. So if you want to use that lineup, you can. Yeah. And the one thing also, because of his low shot, Bode has been touting the lucky bounce tech a lot. It's very hard for Adams to do because his bounces are so few and far between because his shot is so low, which is rather unfortunate. But it is what it is. All right, so like this is a distance. I know that 2 pips goes about 4.1 to 4.2-ish meters. So like I'm always generally comfortable with doing that. Okay, so here we have wind. I know Bode for Putt Master would say that like one of these angles is about 4 wind. For Adams, because its shot is lower, it's more like 5 wind, but it depends on the club. Because this is a high club, I like to come a little bit further over even still, but we are going uphill. So I kind of bring it back a little bit. And we'll club up once. This might be okay. Oh, that's too far. Oh well. All right. One more thing. So this is now Adam's putts time. Every other character you say, oh, I'm going uphill. I gotta go up a pip. Don't go up a pip. Never go up a pip. It's the most terrifying thing you can do as an Adams player. Never do it. Going uphill, like the only time you'll want to go up a pip is if you know the hill is very steep. You know that there is grain against you, and you got balls of steel. It's pretty much what it comes down to. I might even miss this putt. But yeah, go on the white. Okay, good. See, the white going uphill, generally fine. White going uphill, even against grain, it's sometimes not, but usually fine. But yeah. All right, so this is the first par 4. Adams get on into this, no problem, generally. Generally. Depends on wind, obviously. No wind here. So this is where, when I talked about knowing routes was a thing. Every other character wants to go straight, and they'll get it in that little gap here, and they'll be like, oh, I'm through, right? If you try and go straight as Adams, you'll get over the trees okay, but you'll get a rough bounce. And you can't have a rough bounce. The rough bounce will kill all of your speed. You can't get on into anymore. What you need to do instead, come over a little bit, you slice twice. And then you hit that. It goes through all these trees, somewhat magically. Oh, I'm in the rough. But I think I should be okay. Because I'm Adams. Being on the right side of that bunker, not a problem. I like the right side of the bunker way more than the left. It's a much huger window. You got much more room. It's much friendlier. You're Adams, you're in the rough. But if I got this max shot, which I didn't, so I'm probably not on it too. Yeah, if I got the max shot, I would have been on it too, but I fucked up. But that's, you know, one of those Adams things you get to do. It's a privilege. I'm just gonna put it on because I'm lazy. Where's that? Where's that pixel? There you are. Hey. Oh, okay. That was close. But yeah, one thing I'm confused by is why everybody else, every other character, they want to stay on the left side of that bunker. Why? You're playing with fire. There's a giant patch of heavy rough and rough right there. Just go a little bit right. No one's there. It's the most friendly part of the fairway. Everybody, why don't other characters do it? Bode, you should do that with Puttmaster. Slice a couple times. Trust me. You can do that, I suppose. Oh, that's a nice one. Anything below 2.2 centimeters, 2 meters and 2 centimeters, 20 centimeters-ish. You can use 1 pip, you know, heel and grain dependent, obviously. But yeah, anything below that, you can 1 pip, no problem. All right, curse strats time. Shout outs to Tim. So this is a strat that, well, I guess Power Golfer can do it too, but only the low shot bros can do this shot. Everybody loves to see this. You go up to your 1 wood. You go a little bit over half, generally around like 55%. You go as low as possible. Fuck trees. That was a little bit strong. But you don't want to end up being, you know. So oftentimes when you're in match play on Fightcade, there's a dumb amount of wind there. You can ignore it. It's pretty great. Thanks, Tim. Oh, that was a nice putt. All right, what do we got next? Okay, I'm gonna say I stayed here. So there's a couple different things you can try doing if you want. Generally, most people, and you know I will too, you come over to the left a little bit. You can actually aim for this rough here, because there's a nice little gap in the trees where that rough is, and because you're Adams, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm on the fairway. Oh, this tree's right in my face. It's right there. I'm gonna have to do this. Although, okay. Could have been better. I'm on the thing here, but it is what it is. I'm gonna do this. No, okay. Anyway, other thing you can do, because you're atoms, go over here and you kind of aim for the same spot. One thing you'll see here, there's a cluster of trees, but there's a nice little clearing right here. Yes, aim for the rough. You are Frank Adams. You're in the heavy rough, which is not as ideal, I guess. But now, instead of 190 yards trying to get over a gap, you're 160 yards trying to get over the gap, and that's much more manageable. Heavy rough takes off about 10-ish, 15-ish%. Very manageable, obviously. I got 3 backwind though too, but I have to get over this gap. And when you're in the heavy rough, your shot still is lower, obviously. So let's try it. Oh, look at that. Frank Adams from the rough, from the thick stuff, making it happen. What a god. What a god. Love this dude. Yes. Alright, let's try it. No. Too much wind. 2.5 centimeters so I can one tap it. Oh wow, the hill. Anyway, that's a Germany with atoms, and that's like my thought process with atoms. I know that probably wasn't the best example of a atoms round, considering I got a -9, but I was going fast. I didn't want to make this video too long. But yeah, people should check out Adams because he's a real fun character. And just like, look at that mustache. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. It's so goddamn nice. Such a good mustache. Can't stop staring at it. All right.